Good morning, everyone. How are you all today? So it's a lovely day outside today. I've just come back from an Alpha Club drive. It was really early in the morning. We started at 7 a.m., but because it was daylight savings today as well, it actually kind of started at 8 a.m., so it wasn't too bad. What are we doing today? So we are going to be fitting a new stereo to my Alpha 147 GTA because the stock stereo is pretty bad. It's really old. It only has radio and CD. There's no auxiliary, there's no Bluetooth, there's nothing. So I really want to get some new songs in there. I really want to listen to my own music. So this is what I've got. It's the Clarion FZ105BT. It's got Bluetooth, it's got USB, and interestingly enough, this has got SD card as well. This is one of the only head units that I could find nowadays that still has SD card. I really like to have SD card and USB at the same time, and that's just so that I don't have to put in a USB all the time into the head unit. So we've got all these bits. I've ordered a fitting kit on eBay as well. So I've got all of these adapters. So this is an antenna adapter. This is the key to get rid of the old stereo. And I've got the wiring harness as well that goes from Alpha to ISO. And then also I've got a steering wheel interface from Connect 2. And then all the instructions associated with it as well. Looks a little bit complicated, but I think I've got it figured out. And this is the steering wheel interface that actually plugs into the head unit. So for our head unit, we're just going to be using the jack, the headphone jack, that plugs into the back. So we're going to tackle this job, and hopefully it all goes very smoothly. So this is the old stereo. It's definitely well past its use by date, and it's going. So what you do is you use these pins, and my kit that came from eBay was had these pins supplied as well. You just put them in, push them all the way in, and then you just got to pull out the stereo using these pins, and then it should come out. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you pull it out. You just basically unplug everything from the head unit, and then you just take the head unit out. So I'm just going to unplug everything and then show you what it looks like. Okay, so there's the main plug that goes into the stereo, and then there's some of the smaller plugs. I don't know exactly where the small plugs go at the moment, but I'll have a look in a sec. And there's the antenna plug as well. Right, so I've plugged in the main plug into my harness, and the kit also came with an antenna adapter. I'm guessing you'll probably need that as well, so just make sure you have an antenna adapter ready. And this plug over here, even though there's only one of the plugs that are being used, which is this green one in the middle, you might as well just keep all three of them together. So that just came straight out of the old head unit, and that just goes into the top of this adapter. So I'll plug that in, and I'm also assuming that you have to connect these two as well with the right colors. So I'm going to do that as well. I do want to plug in my steering wheel control adapter. So obviously this car's got steering wheel controls, and you want to make sure that all of that works with your new head unit. So I do have a head unit that is compatible with that, and just got to plug it all in. So I'll do all of that and then just show you what it looks like at the end. So with this particular steering wheel control adapter kit, it gives you some instructions, so you do have to read these instructions really carefully. What it's saying is for Clarion, which is the one that we've got, you can see that the purple lead is 0, which means that we have to cut the purple lead, and we connect to the head unit just using the jack. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the purple lead. I might need both hands for that. But yeah, I'm going to cut the purple lead and then connect it all up, and then connect it to the head unit. Alright, so we've connected up the antenna. I've connected the steering wheel controls to this jack point. To this jack. And we've connected the main plug as well. Now with the steering wheel harness, I have actually just put a bit of tape around the wire that I cut, just so, just to make sure that it doesn't ever touch. It should never touch anyway, but just double check. And we've got our head unit ready to go. So in theory, I should just be able to turn this on and test it out, and then I can figure out how to actually secure it into place, because I've got a little faceplate adapter thing to go around this outside edge as well. So then I have to figure that out as well. Alright guys, this must be my lucky day or something. I'm seriously shocked that this is actually working. So I've just turned the key on and everything's working. I kid you not. Literally everything is working. I know this never ever happens, but for some reason it's happened this time. So the stereo is obviously working, it's powered. I'll show you the speakers working soon as well. And what's amazing is these buttons will work as well. So if I go up, volume goes up, and then that's mute. And then if I want to change the station, obviously I've only got radio at the moment, it changes station. Isn't that amazing? I swear that this is like the first time that anything's ever gone right. Just especially with electronics, this is the first time I've done it. So this is the benefit of buying like a kit, right? Like a harness or a kit from eBay. Pretty much everything's plug and play, and you just make it work, and you just read the instructions, and it's really easy. So that's definitely what I would recommend for this car as well. Like, there's kits literally on eBay available. It's so easy. You can do it yourself, no problems at all. Just go ahead and do it. You know, like now I've got an awesome stereo as well. Anyway, I'll finish this up and I'll do like a final little video. But I'm just surprised how easy it is actually. Okay, so everything looked like it was working, but we actually found that the stereo just kind of shut off as soon as I turned the ignition off, and it would lose its memory and wouldn't power up again properly. And this is a very common symptom for having the constant power and the ignition power on around the wrong way on your plug. So what we're doing is we're just going to swap those two around and see if that helps with the stereo. So we're just taking out the pins on the stereo side for the constant power and the ignition power, and then we're just going to swap those two around. Great, I'm going to give that a go and see if it works. Okay, so we found the faceplate. You should probably put on first, because it kind of fits a bit awkwardly if you put on this cage that goes around the stereo with it as well. So we're going to try and put this in first, and then put the cage in, and then put the stereo in. Actually doing it.
That's exactly why we recorded, so we can see the funnies.
We're having a bit of trouble fitting it in. We're just going to call it Italian engineering. It's a DIN slot, but it's an Italian DIN slot. We're just trying to push down some of these tabs in the bracket so that it kind of stays in place. Having some trouble figuring out which tabs to use, but it seems like those ones at the back can be used. Alright everyone, great news, we've managed to get the stereo in and it looks pretty good. There's a little bit of slight fitment, you know, not quite being there, but that's okay, it's an aftermarket system, so I'm not going to complain too much. But yeah, we now have music, I can do Bluetooth, and it actually works really well with the current speakers, and all the steering wheel buttons work, so that's fantastic. Now I'm just going to play around with the settings on the head unit, but yeah, everything's great. Finally have some songs in my Alfa. Will be great for the next road trip. Alright, catch you next episode everyone. Say goodbye to the 147 GTA.